he is here from Denver. He has done the show twice before because literally people keep telling me to have him on. You guys love him. You guys know him. Let's get it going right now for Evan Johnson.
Hey guys, I just wanted to ask something real quick because I noticed it during the last comic set. Do you guys have a word for pervert, or do you have to spell it out? You have to spell it out, don't you? I was hoping that it would just be like, I was hoping it would just be, that would be great. I was really hoping that. Guys, I do look like this, which is cool. I know how I look. I know that my hair looks like a Lego piece you just snap off and put on other people. We're okay? I don't know, man. I'm wearing this leather jacket, it's starting to look like a dirty cop with a heart of gold. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna arrest you for cocaine, but also, that's my cocaine. It's not making it back to the evidence locker. In fact, the evidence locker is what I nicknamed my mustache. So that's something. I'm gonna do that. People mess with me about my hair a lot, so I'll fix it in like any reflective surface I can find. And dudes especially will come up to me like all the time. I'll be fixing them like, hey man, hey bro, hey you look good man, hey buddy, hey dude, you're looking good man. You can stop now. Hey man, looking great, looking good man. Next time someone does that to me, I'm gonna look at them and go, hey man, are you gonna fuck me right now? And when they're like, no, I'm just gonna go, well then it doesn't look good enough. So we're back to fix it. And you're fucking. Get some blood from my scalp, freaking the fuck out, baby. It'd be great. I like how I look. I genuinely enjoy how I look because I don't look like, other comedians. Lots of other Jew comedians look like just, variations of the same sad white guys. So like at least I look a little different, like other comics will make fun of me too. They'll be like, oh, you look like if Johnny Depp fucked Pinocchio or whatever, But I'll take it, that's a mythical creature you have to make up to insult me. That's not a real thing. It's not a real. We all know Johnny Depp doesn't fuck, puppets. We all know he fucks, obviously, women who can beat him up. So. I don't know if you were wondering about my vaguely ethnic eyebrow mustache combo. I'm Native American and Spanish mostly. And I get a lot of dumb questions from people. Like I had a friend, my best friend actually, like one of my best friends asked me, he was like, as a Native American, were you ever offended by like the football team, the Redskins? Were you ever offended that there was a football team called the Redskins? And I was like, I am much more offended by the fact that you've known me for like 15 years and think I give a fuck about sports. You guys have known me for what, 3 minutes? You can tell I don't give a fuck about sports. Like, isn't that a hard thing to tell about me, man? I don't know, the kid is dumb as shit. People also ask me this, because my last name, I don't know if you heard, is Johnson. And people love to ask, like, well, if you're Native American, how'd your last name become Jonathan? How did that happen? How'd your last name become Jonathan if you're Native American? And I love to ask those people, how do you think that happened? Why don't you look at me in my brown face and tell me you think that happened? You honky honk honk? I can tell you it wasn't one of those consensual things. Yeah, the Loonees knows its history. Good. Yeah, growing up Native and Spanish, I learned kind of early on in my childhood my mom was racist. And this is true, like the way I learned she was racist because she'd be like at her job and people would see she was like vaguely ethnic like me and people would ask, like, are you like Mexican? Like, are you, like, what's going on here? Like specifically when people would ask if she was Mexican, her response was, fuck you, get the fuck out of my store right now. Fucking leave, I will call the goddamn cops for trespassing, get the fuck out of my store. Which by the way, she didn't own the store, she just worked at Office Depot. She was just kicking people out of Office Depot for asking if she was a Mexican, which, to reiterate, we are Native American and Spanish. Which fucking, mathematically, that's fucking Mexican. That's what that is. If you were to take a pill to turn you into a Mexican, that would really be inside that pill. Okay? It's not only is my mom a dumb racist, she's a dumb racist Mexican. And she is. She's got a little clan hood on top of her sombrero. That's maybe my favorite joke that I have right now. Because people did not like the visual of that at first. I don't know, man. I'm going to take a little bit of a tonal shift, but I do want to share some news with you guys, some very recent news that I had happen to me. I, as of very recently, no longer need to take my antidepressants. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. And it's actually because earlier today I took all of them. So, don't have to do that anymore. Don't have to do anything anymore. Actually, it's pretty sick. It's the best. I am probably depressed. I never gone to the doctor to see if I'm depressed or whatever. Antidepressants freak me out. Because the main side effect of every antidepressant is that they might cause suicidal thoughts, which is the opposite of the thing you want to have. Nothing else works that way. You would never buy a fire extinguisher if it might be a flamethrower. Logistically doesn't make sense. Pepper spray would sell way fewer numbers if when you sprayed it at your attackers made them faster and better at fighting. You'd be like, spray on myself, pepper spray. It wouldn't be. I'm just saying you don't pay to go to school to make you dumber, right? That's obviously why church is free. Speaking of depression, and again, I don't want to bring the room down too much, but I did, a little while back, I did attempt to hang myself. And I don't want anyone to worry, I really don't. I don't want you to worry because I did obviously, end up coming. That's okay, it's fine. I learned something new about myself, It's like, by the way, if you think it's awkward to hear about how I tried to kill myself, imagine how awkward it is for me to, not be dead. I didn't plan any of this shit out. This is just winging it at this point. I don't know what's gonna happen, man. I don't know. I've been having a weird time. I don't know. Father's Day happened recently, or not. Who cares? But I did have a weird interaction with my dad last Father's Day. This is a 100% true story. I was texting my dad. I'm not a good son, obviously. I'm a comedian. I texted my dad. I was like, Pops, I'm coming over to your house with some of your favorite beer and a summer shandy for you, something he liked. And I texted him that, and he just sent me back a question mark. And I was like, oh, I thought you enjoyed those. I thought you were into that kind of stuff. And he just sent me back double question marks. And I was like, if you don't know what those are, they're delicious. You're gonna love them. And he replied with, what the fuck are you talking about? And I went back and realized that Summer's Shandy had autocorrected into Summer's Handy. I was like, hey, Pops, come over some of your favorite beer and a Summer's Handy for you. And he was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, oh, I thought you were into those kinds of things. I thought you liked those. And then you dug it. And he was like, who do you think you're talking to? And I was like, don't worry, if you don't know what they are, they're delicious. So, you're gonna love it. So that's I paid for my dad's hand job on Father's Day. Anyway, speaking of weird sexual things, I'm not good at flirting. I'm not good at relationships, any kind of stuff. This is the last time I tried to flirt with somebody, and I thought this would have been a good flirt. I maintained this was gonna be a good flirt. This girl was walking like her little corgi dog deal, and she's walking towards me, and I came up to her and I'm like, oh my god, your friend is so cute, like to the dog. And she was like, thank you. And what I meant to say was, oh, I was talking to your dog. Like she's the cute friend, right? Like implying, that's a fucking B- flirt. I feel like that's a pretty fine flirt. But instead what happened was, she came up and I was like, oh my god, your friend is so cute. And she was like, thank you. And then I just went, I wasn't talking to you. It was like that. So that was right before I tried to hang myself. I've been in actually the last few relationships I've been in have been like a polyamorous relationships. Chris was talking a little bit about that. Like my girlfriends can see other people, I can see other people. And one more fascinating thing about that is that like every time I've gotten into these polyamorous relationships, at least one of my friends will just look at me and go, oh, I never really saw you as a polyamorous person. There's a very subtle way to your close personal friends being like, oh, I don't really believe that two people want to fuck you at the same time. seems logistically possible. It's fucked up, man. Like that is hard to tell other people too. Like trying to tell like other women that I'm polyamorous. Because like if I like tell like if my girlfriend tells other people she's polyamorous, she comes across like a cool new agey woman, right? If I tell other people that I'm polyamorous, I obviously come across like a cult leader trying to recruit me with my hair. You know? This is already a culty hairdo. I can't be doing this. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't be doing that shit. I don't know, man. I had a girlfriend. We were doing the polyamory thing. She was not a nice lady. Like she was just a. She was a really toxic relationship, man. Like the only good thing like about the relationship was like she was really into like in bed, like slapping and spanking and like choking and stuff. And that really worked for me because I fucking hated her. Yeah, it wasn't good. Like she was a bad person, man. Like she was like I remember like we were doing the polyamory thing. I never felt like she was going like I can see other people and you can see other people. It always felt like she was going like I can see other people, and you could try your pussy. Like, it was not a good time. Like, this is a true thing that happened. I was doing some comedy in Vegas. I had to go to Las Vegas, and she was coming with me. And I made sure before we left for Vegas to buy a bunch of like cocaine and Adderall, and like 5 like upper drugs, because I knew if I went to Vegas with this crazy person and blacked out, we were gonna get married. You understand? So I went to Vegas with a bunch of cocaine to make sure I could not physically black out. Have you guys ever had a moral obligation to do cocaine? You ever had that? Because that's what I had in Vegas, doing rails at Circus, being like, I don't want to get married! Also, if you look as much like the Joker as I do, don't do coke at Circus, dude. You will not be able to tell what's a reflection and what's you. This is fucking terrifying. It's not chill, man. I don't know, man. Fucking, I did actually go on a date recently, which was big for me. It was very. The girl was very forward. She was very up front. She told me she had a rape fantasy. So I just had to be upfront with her. You know, I was like, I don't like that kind of stuff. I'm not into that. And she was like, well, that is perfect. So she had a great night. I hope you guys did too. Give it up for Tracy. Give it up for
Johnson, everybody. So real quick, here's the thing. This is the second Thursday in a row that we packed this bitch out.